So today it's my monthly update video on Dominique Malonga. And yeah, Dominique Malonga is looking like a high likelihood of going number 2 in the WNBA draft. Like, we are looking at Malonga, who might win Player of the Year in Euro Cup. Yes, she might win literally Player of the Euro Cup Player of the Year. And we're now, because Olivia Miles probably not going to make an All-American. You know what? She was top 10. She was top 10 in Player of the Year voting. She probably will make an All-American team, but a second team, who is... A lot of people are like, oh, don't just judge by how they end their senior season. She was also injured last year. She was missed her whole junior year and has ended her senior season terribly. Like, she's been the third best player on Notre Dame the last 20 or so games. And outside of, like, a lot of time they're playing good players. She's the third best player on Notre Dame. But Dominique Malonga is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So Malonga, for the season, she is playing again. She's playing in the French league, which is a good league. Genuinely a good league. And in the French league, she's only averaging 15.6 points per game. But she's shooting 37% from 3. She's only shooting 28% in Euro Cup, but she's shooting 55% from 2 and 18.5 points per game in Euro Cup. And by the way, if you look at what her last game in Euro Cup against Ferrol, she had 22 and 18 boards. Yes, 22 and 18 boards. She also then, in her previous game before that, she had 21 and 19. On 10 of 13 from the field with 21 and 19. And she's playing at a higher level than NCAA D1, by the way. This is 100% a higher level than NCAA D1. She's putting up stats that, like, absolutely absurd stats. Like, absurd. Like, look, Layla Lacan. Layla Lacan is a really good player. She was a first-round pick in last year's draft. And she is someone that is gone to the sun and is going to be expected to do well. She is, again, somebody that, with the way she was being drafted, is, where she was drafted, she was expected to be good. And if she was going to come over straight away, she might have gone in the top 5 or 6 last year. And she might be one of the top 5 players in the 2024 draft. Dominique Malonga is outplaying her in the French league. And in Euro League, she's only averaging 8 points a game. And I know Euro League is a better league than Euro Cup, but still, she's been the best player in Euro Cup. And like Temi's playing in Euro Cup. Temi's playing in Euro Cup. Freaking, I know not a brilliant WNBA player, but Dana Evans is playing. There's loads of WNBA players. She literally just beat a team with 3 WNBA players on it. In Liaru, Chechi Zandalasini, and Julie Vanloo. Like 2 starters and 1 good good backup big. So, not only that, it's how she scores. So this video was made yesterday. But the reason I can't is because FIBA are really, really, really picky when it comes to clips being shown. And like some of the stuff that Dominique Malonga can do. So I'm just going to show you guys right here. You're going to see bit by bit. You're going to see it in a picture form. So, Dominique Malonga, where is it? Here. Is it here? So Dominique Malonga is out here blocking, like sprinting the floor, blocking shots. Like, again, she is one of the better shot blockers. She is just Cam Brink-esque. She's taught, like this play right here. Watch what happens here. So Dominique Malonga forces a miss, gets the rebound herself, pushes the floor fully, sees a gap, and drives, Euro steps in, finishes the offhand. This is a 6'6", 7'2" wingspan player. She's taller than Cam Brink with longer arms than Cam Brink. And she moves better than Cam Brink. Like, I'm sorry. This is... Like, when we're talking about players under 25, potential-wise, for me, it is Caitlin 1, Dominique 2, Juju 3. And if you want to say Juju 2, Dominique 3, cool. I'm not going to make that argument. I think it's close. But even there's still... There's a crazy play here as well, by the way. Is this it? No, she's just blocking shots. There's a rebound that she got. And I'm like, there is no way a human being did this. And she got one of the craziest offensive boards I've seen in my life in this game. Basically, she's being boxed out. I just want to see this one here. She gets kind of an and one. This play here. Watch what she does. Look where the ball is. Look where the ball is right now. And look where she is. She gets this ball. She flicks it up, gets it, and it ends up getting an and one. She flicks it up to herself and gets an and one. Should it have been an offensive foul? Possibly. Possibly. But the only reason I say possibly is she just reached over it. I don't know if there's any contact in the body. She just has the longest arm ever and flicks it up. Like, Dominique Malonga is the only player I can think of that maybe had a better frame in the WNBA that was good was a Brittany Griner. And like Dominique Malonga's already getting good burn for a French national team that almost beat USA. She's got the ability to spread the floor a little bit, and she's got more perimeter game than she's showing as well. She runs the floor really hard, and probably going to have to play power forward in the WNBA. But imagine Seattle. So Seattle have a choice. They can take the 22-year-old past first point guard who doesn't play defense in Olivia Miles. Or, by the way, they're both coming off the bench. They have to make one of three choices. They have to take the 22-year-old past first point guard who's coming off an ACL tear and is having a terrible end to the season. The 22-year-old plug-and-play wing who will probably start day one, but does not have the ceiling. Or someone whose ceiling, and like, look, how often player prospects hit their ceiling? I don't know, but has the ceiling of being the greatest player to ever play basketball. If she was in college, she would be the best center in college right now. She'd be the best big in college, and she's a freshman. And because of the rules, let's just say again, hypothetically, if Clark wasn't in the draft, Paige would have went 1 and 20. Let's be real, the way the drafts would have gone, if you were allowed one and done, Paige and Caitlin would have been drafted in 2021. 2022, Aaliyah Boston probably would have been drafted. Heck, Aaliyah Boston probably would have been drafted top 3 in 2020. For Juju, if all of those were gone, Juju would have gone number 1. Like, the only player that would have been taken over Juju in the last, since Stewie, was Caitlin Clark. And maybe freshman Paige. Either way, it's a close one. But Dominique Malonga is basically, with the way the overseas rules are, you can basically go 1 and done. And she wants to come over as well. And if you guys think, I think she should be number 1. Why? Because, well, people are saying, oh, but like the Dallas Wings, Paige makes them better. Of course Paige makes them better. But I'm sorry. Like, you have to answer this question. 1, do the Dallas Wings want to get into Juju sweepstakes? The answer, probably yes. They get knocked out of the 2027 sweepstakes if they take Paige Beckers, because Paige is going to bring it in their ceiling. And Dominique Malonga is going to come over. If Dominique Malonga cracks she's going to crack the rotation. She is going to be a 10-minute per game player as a rookie. And that's fine. That's fine. Crack the rotation as a rookie on a really good team. And then you go, and by year 2, if she cracks the rotation, plays 8 minutes a game as a rookie, then by year 2, it's 15. By year 3, Nneka Nwumke is retired, and the twin towers of Ezi Magbagor and Dominique Malonga are starting. By year 4, she makes her first All-Star team. And then in year 5, she's still the same age as Paige Beckers is right now. Like, if she works her way within 4 seasons to being an All-Star, she is the same age as Paige Beckers is right now. And I don't know if Paige Beckers can be an All-Star right now. I don't understand why she is not in conversations for number 1. I never understood this. Imagine in the NBA, last year, I'm just trying to think of a hypothetical situation. Imagine, I don't know, Cooper Flag doesn't go number 1 because, last year was a bad example. 2023. I know, who was the 2023 College Player of the Year? The 2023 college... Sorry, it was Zach Edey as well. Sorry, yeah. He wasn't even going to be drafted. Imagine if they decided, because Zach Edey was real good in college, that and you saw what Wemby was doing in France, that an NBA team, the Spurs, got the number 1 pick, and instead of taking Victor Wembanyama, they took Zach Edey. Imagine if instead of taking, was Luka Garza in the Cade Cunningham draft, or was Luka Garza in the Anthony Edwards draft? What year was Luka Garza drafted? Luka Garza was drafted in 2021. Yeah. If instead of drafting Cade Cunningham, they drafted Luka Garza. They drafted the 23-year-old. Instead of the 19-year-old prodigy, they drafted the 23-year-old who is 23 years old. Like, I don't know. And again, Paige is probably going to win Rookie of the Year. Dominique Malonga is not going to be, like, she's not going to come in and dominate right away. But I'm sorry, there's no logic to this. She's the best international prospect since Lauren Jackson. Like, I don't, like, imagine Dominique Malonga and Ezi Magbagor, because Ezi can shoot a bit. Dominique Malonga is an improved, like, it can shoot a bit. You have got this modern Twin Towers lineup with 6'6", athletic 6'6", athletic 6'4", both of them with perimeter play. It is literally, like, that lineup, people are, in 5 years' time, and it's not going to be a thing where it's like, Dominique Malonga's going to be taken number 2, and Sonia Citron's going to have a better rookie season than her, and everyone's going to be done being like, why did you take Dominique Malonga? Dominique Malonga is a project player, but she literally has that ceiling of being the greatest of all time. If she hits her ceiling, and you might be saying, oh, I'm gassing it. She is 6'6". Let me repeat. She is 6'6". She has a wingspan of 7'2". She runs like a guard. She's like, her shot blocking timing is good, and she can shoot a bit. This is the female Victor Wembanyama. And yes, is she ready to start right away in the WNBA? No, she's not. Paige Becker's a starter. But I think Paige Becker's a starter, and I think that, what's her name's a starter? Maybe Sonia Citron, depending on where she goes. But people really don't know what happens in the WNBA. In the 2023 WNBA draft, do you want to know how many players started on their team? One, and it was Aaliyah Boston. The number 2 pick was Diamond Miller. Actually, she did start a little bit for the Minnesota Lynx. The Lynx kind of sucked. And then the number 3 pick, Segrist, did not start on a good Dallas Wings team. Then you got Stephanie Suarez, who's already been out of the league. Then you got Lula Besenashal, who's pretty much out of the league. And the next best player is Jordan Horston. Third best player in the draft is Jordan Horston. Anyway, yeah. I don't know why teams are so adamant on not taking the generational talent because she's not going to be ready right away, when the reason you have these high picks is, the reason you have the top pick is because your team sucks. Like, why are the WNBA teams so insistent on being the 7th seed when they can just spend a year or two as the 9th, 10th seed? Go get yourselves. If the Dallas Wings want to struggle for a few years, you can lose Arike. That's fine. You're never going to win with Arike anyway. Lose Arike in free agency in 2026. That is fine. That's absolutely fine. Go take Malonga. Do whatever you can in that 2026 draft, because you know you're going to lose Arike. Do whatever the hell you can to get one of Flaw J. Johnson or Tanaya Latson to take over as a new kind of Arike. And then do whatever you can to get, like, use your 2nd round pick on a Anastasia Kosu or something who could be really good, who has potential to be really good. Make your team poor for 2 years, and then suddenly you go into 2027 potentially getting a Madison Booker or a Full Wiley, who I think is going to be in that conversation when the time comes, or a Juju Watkins. And suddenly then you're going to be, when you got those young players all on rookie deals, that's when it's like, okay, yeah, we can go and push for it. But right now, Dallas are content to be in the 8th seed, getting Paige Beckers, and they're passing up on a generational talent. And at least Paige, it makes sense, but nobody other than, because Paige is going to be clearly the best player in their rookie year, but nobody other than Paige Beckers makes sense to draft over Dominique Malonga at this point in time. But anyway, I'll see you guys.